Welcome back, class, to another live stream of Animation Collab, where I experiment with new techniques in my animation laboratory in collaboration with other content creators. My name is Sonja and I'm a motion designer. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we live stream every Tuesday and Friday at 5 p.m. CET with different live streaming series. On Tuesdays, we are doing Animation Collab, and on Fridays, we do Shut Up and Draw. And if you'd like to support me, you can always give this video a thumbs up, you can comment below, and you can share it with your friends, which is by far the best method to support me, apart from becoming part of the Patreon, of course. Which I also have, and as well as a Ko-fi, and you can also buy me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com. All of those links are in the description. And today we're going to continue the collaboration with Andy. He's a cybersecurity expert with a YouTube channel where he creates cybersecurity videos, and I'm helping him animate one of his upcoming videos. We've gone through the whole design and storyboarding process. We even had Andy on the channel. You can watch all of those replays on my YouTube channel. And now we are continuing with the animation. We're currently at a character animation of one of the hacker characters in this video, and we're gonna fine-tune some of the details before moving on to the next scene. And yeah, so do let me know if something isn't working, if the mic is too loud, too low. Do say hi in the chat if you're there. I love knowing that people are actually out there actively watching. Let's check the chat actually. We are streaming an hour later than usual because the sun was just too beautiful outside and I had to take an extra hour outside. So it is not our usual streaming time, but I hope you don't mind and I hope you still enjoy the stream. Hi, welcome! Okay, so let's bring up After Effects. And I need to resize my windows. For some reason, every time I go live, I have everything ready, but then something goes wrong and I have to readjust everything. So just give me a second. I'm also going to check my mic. Yep, the gain is in a good position. Okay, so here we are. Okay, great. So I've recently updated to the most recent version of OBS, and because of that, it now doesn't want to get smaller than this, which means you, like, see it. You can... okay, I can just push it out of view, which isn't ideal because it's not snapped to the side that way, but oh well, I guess it can't be helped. Alright, let's get this into position and we're almost ready to go. Alright, so where did we leave off? We animated this character going through this part of the template composition. Is one composition that will be used in multiple stages in this video, and it's one snippet of this template composition where we see the character pointing at the attack framework, which is ATT and CK, the adversarial tactics, techniques, and common knowledge framework to prevent hacking attacks. So let's have a look, and I will turn on the desktop audio as well so you can hear the sound, and hopefully it's not broken and I have to restart After Effects, which tends to happen.
Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. The order of the columns roughly matches the order in which an attacker would need to apply each technique in an end-to-end attack, although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition as an attacker moves from system to system. Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their...
Okay, so I don't want to full screen this because last time, every time I full screened the playback window and went back to regular After Effects just created a black screen and I had to restart it. So that's why I'm not full screening that. And I did also play it back at 1 frame less. So you have an option when you go into your preview, which I've put here. So when I hold shift and spacebar, it's possible that I'm speaking louder than usual because my headphones are a little noise cancelling, so sorry about that. And also I think maybe my sound might be just a tad too loud. Let me just see if I can adjust that as well. No, everything is where it should be. Okay, well, I don't know. My levels are peaking, so I'm just wondering what's going on. Okay, basically, in the preview, you can set different ways of playing back. You can play back with the space bar, shift, numpad 0, shift, numpad 0, alt, numpad 0, numpad dot, alt, numpad dot. And for each one of those, you can set different types of presets. So my spacebar is just playing the frame rate of my composition without skipping frames at an auto resolution. It is caching and plays cached frames, so it like pre-renders. It plays the entire duration, so it doesn't care about the workspace that I've cut out for myself. And it plays from the current time the playhead is on. But if I'm working at 60 frames per second, sometimes just to watch the animation back, it's easier to skip some frames and play it back at 30 frames per second. But constantly changing the frame rate isn't really useful, so I tend to just switch the preview, or rather, this is just to set it up. You don't have to switch this, you just use those shortcuts. And with the shift spacebar, I'm actually playing back the work area. So just like with the numpad 0, it's the work area. But instead of from the start of the range, I play this one back at the current time. If you play back the work area instead of just the entire length of your composition, it will loop, so it will stop at the end of your work area and then go to the start. So it acts as a loop, which is sometimes useful. And I skip frames, but I just realized it skips 2 frames. I actually only wanted to skip 1 frame. That way it doesn't render as long, but because it skips frames, it then essentially plays it back faster, so to speak, or you just don't, it like pushes all of the frames aside that are in between every second frame, and the animation, you lose a little bit of detail of the animation. Sometimes that's not an issue. Right now it's an issue, but maybe the issue was only created or caused because I skipped 2 frames. It should have only been 1. So let's try that again.
Rather, an attacker will use a combination of
that's
these
much
techniques
better
in order to achieve their objective. The order of the columns roughly matches the order in which an attacker would need to apply each technique in an end-to-end attack, although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition as an attacker moves from system to Okay,
so there's a few things I'm noticing. I want this stick, I don't know, I'll turn on the shy switch so that I only see the layers with the keyframes on them. And the stick, it goes like this.
Attacker will use a attacker will use a combat. Attacker will use attack.
I think I want this to happen faster, but we'll just see. Also, for some reason, these have different distances. I don't know why that is happening either, so I want to see what's going on there. So these 2 frames down here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames apart. And I think I actually want to keep it that way. Okay.
Of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. Of these techniques in order of these techniques in order to achieve these techniques in order.
Okay, so the arm left. Okay, that's the arm left. We don't need to care about that one. What I do want to care about is the rotation here and the movement of the body. So the body is rotating back and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, rotating forward. And 1, 2. And the arm is 2 frames delayed, sequenced, so to speak. So that's theoretically good, but something's still not meshing in this movement. And that will be the case of all of the movements. Because, okay, something's rotating, which either shouldn't be rotating. Oh, okay, it has a bounce on this. Ah, I see. So I wonder if I should add this bounce to the hand, to the arm, and stick rotations. I'll just add it and see what it looks like.
Of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. Of these techniques in order to of these.
So the bouncing is a good thing, but I don't know if it works with this, because if you're falling forward, your hand just kind of snaps to the board, and because it hits something hard, it wouldn't like slide around like a regular bounce motion. So I don't know that it works in this case. I'm gonna take it off the arm and the stick, and maybe just take it off the rotation as well and just animate that rotation by hand. That way I have more control over the arm as well. So here it needs to shoot past a little, like, okay, let's say like 3. And then it's at 0. That's probably too much. Let's see.
Of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. Of these techniques in order. Of these techniques in order. Of these techniques in order. Of these.
Maybe this can be 5. And I think this needs to, let's see, 1, 2. Yeah, this needs to finish 2 frames after this. So let's see about this. Okay, that looks super weird. So actually we need this here, only 2 frames further. Then it needs to do the same. No, it doesn't need to do the bounce. Let's see. What's the velocity on this one? Something super random. What's the velocity on this one? So it's easy ease. And this one easy ease? Yeah. Okay, so let's just make all of these easy ease, which is F9, if you were wondering. And we'll just make all of this F9 as well. Easy ease.
Of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. Of these techniques in order to.
Nope. And this definitely needs to speed up
in order to achieve their objective.
Because I imagine this stick landing like with that velocity, you know? It's not like slow and soft. It's like, here, this one, like that. So, what I could try is make this... Yeah, it's like this duration just doesn't work. It needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. That's just what it needs to be. I mean, it works here in this instance, but the problem with the difference between these frames here and these frames here is that here we don't have the forward, backwards, forwards, back into position bounce that we have with this movement, because the character is coming from the bottom. It's just lifting its arm and then points at the board. Here we have a slightly different motion. So if I was going, I'm holding a stick. Let's reenact this. I'm holding a stick. Here's a pen. Okay. I'm going slide, bounce. Okay, my arm is basically going back until it lands in the front. Okay. That's what needs to happen. So it's going back, 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 back. It needs to go further back than that. What? It's doing something really strange here. Yeah, because it's like... Yeah. Okay, I see now. What needs to happen is that it corrects this backwards rotation, basically. So let's clone this. So I need it. Hi, welcome! I'm glad you joined. So basically what I want is I need it to stay in this position more or less. So I've taken a picture inside After Effects. It's this little photo icon. And I can go back and I can switch between the picture and where the arm is in this position. So I essentially want to have the arm more or less in the same location so that when the bounce of the body happens, the arm kind of stays put, held against the board. So let's see if that works.
Of these techniques in order to achieve their objective.
Oh,
Of these techniques in order
hugely overshoots because I made them continuous Bezier, and that kind of acts as an auto Bezier kind of. Hi, welcome Isabella. So that doesn't work. We can't have a continuous
of these techniques
Bezier.
in order to achieve their objective.
Still overshooting here. Not sure what's going on here. It has like a weird, like a jump. I'm not sure why that is happening. How about you don't? You don't. Okay. I'm really tempted to just not deal with this arm bounce now, because this is the other thing about animation, right? You have to evaluate your time against the effort you're putting into the animation. This is not a real client project, but it's like kind of half a client project because I am making it for somebody else, Andy, who is the recipient of this animation, who is the voice that you're hearing in the animation, in the video. And now I spent a really long time on just the fine-tuning of this character. It's at some point there comes a time where you just have to say, this is good enough. And I think I have slowly reached that point where I'm just saying, you know what, this is good enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factory reset these keyframes. I do want this 5-frame difference. So what doesn't work is like, maybe it does need to be here. So it's like, no, it does need to start here. I might also reset these to have the bounce expression in there. So they should actually be like this. So let's see.
Of these techniques in order to achieve their objective.
So because there's a bounce in the body, obviously the hand also overshoots in this instance. And also the arm does the same thing. So, you know what? I'm going to imitate the difference like that.
Of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. Of these techniques in order to of these techniques in order to of these techniques in order to
Okay, and what else? The hat. The hat has the same bounce, but not the same velocity. Okay. Now, let's have a look at this.
In order of these techniques, 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 in order of these.
And I'm just going to determine this good enough. Yes, it's not perfect. Yes, if I was to take physics into account, the body and the hand and the impact should be happening slightly differently, but we just need to move on. We have another like 8 minutes of this animation and we just need to move on. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm going to adapt these keyframes. Let's see if I can just paste this. Okay, that worked. That worked. And I'm just going to go through and copy paste these keyframes. Some of these keyframes are not the same, like those. So I need to make adjustments to that. And I just want to make sure that this... Let's see if this works well, because this is slightly longer.
Roughly matches the ordering. Roughly matches the ordering. Roughly matches the ordering. Roughly matches the ordering. Roughly matches the ordering.
Okay, The hat is probably more or less the same. I need to remove these. Something like that. Yeah. And then obviously the arms need to change here as well, because my arm animation is this one now. So I'm just gonna go through these top two layers, so the control layer and the hat layer, and then I'm gonna go down and adjust the... Oh, no, I wasn't paying attention if it's supposed to be this one or the other one. I'm gonna remove some of this so we have a little bit more real estate to play with. Yeah, that should be okay. Oops. Alright, now we have a little bit more timeline to play with here. Okay, great. Nope, that's different. So for this one, let's use this one. Okay. And for these keyframes, let's use these. And for these keyframes, let's use these. Oh, no, they don't really work out. Okay. And one more. So this is that. And this is that. Alright, and then there's like a weird thing that happens with the arm, or it was happening with the arm. Yeah, there's like a weird movement with the left arm. But that's down here. So, you know what? I'm just going to delete those keyframes, because I'm going to have to adjust them anyway. Let's save before something crashes. And now let's work on the arms and the stick. So the animation we want is this one. Okay. Let's have a look at that again to make sure. This is what we want, probably.
These techniques in order of 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 these techniques in order.
Yeah, it's the overshoot on the arm that annoys me, because if you hit a solid thing, where am I here? If you hit a solid thing, even if your body moves, the solid thing doesn't move. But yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna try and push away my perfectionism and just accept that we have to move on. Okay, so next set of layers is this one, and what I can do now, I'm going to use a plugin. It is a paid plugin. I'm not sponsored by this company at all. It's just a plugin that I use, and with this plugin I can use the clone button, and it clones the keyframes that I have highlighted and pastes them on the respective layers, which is not possible with yeah, I'm just gonna delete them, I think. Yeah. It's not possible with just copy paste in After Effects, because if you're copy pasting multiple keyframes on multiple layers, After Effects duplicates the layers, which is not what I want. So is this correct? Yeah, okay. So the bounce of the left and right arm should be falling on the keyframes of the hat, and the stick is 2 keyframes sequenced, which is great. Now we're going to remove those, and these we need to clone and then adjust. So let's see, these need to fall onto this. And then this needs to be 1, 2 keyframes back. Like that. Hopefully that works. We can test that now. Let's have a look. Oh, oops. Oh no, of course. What I didn't take into account that the position of the keyframes is a different one. I was just copy pasting that. No. Okay, let's go back. Yes, I want the rotations to be the same, but they are pointing at different points. So instead of using copy paste, I'm going to sorry, what was it? It's supposed to match the hat. Yeah, the hat. Okay. All right. So I'm going to imitate these keyframes instead because I want the values to be the same as the keyframes I already have. So let's do that instead. And these are continuous Bezier, and these ones are easy ease. Let's put them easy ease. This one as well, and that's what I want. 1, 2. Yes. Okay, great. So I want these to be like this. And this is nope. Yep. Okay, I want the keyframes to be like this. Oh, I think these ones, yeah, these ones are not in the right position. And double checking that all the keyframes are where I want them to be. Easy ease, continuous Bezier. And I think this may be the last one. Okay. Alright, I've amended all the keyframes. Let's see if it works. Especially in these like instances where the keyframes are slightly longer, that's where I really need to test them. Okay, let's see. Oh. Oh, that doesn't work at all. Okay. That doesn't seem to match. So I think this actually needs to happen at this point. So this needs to move according to the speed of the position movement. So let's move this along. Oh, there's a weird bouncy. Okay. Okay, let's check that again.
Roughly matches the order in which matches the order in which roughly matches the order in which roughly matches the order in which roughly matches.
Yeah, that looks kind of good. Let's give it a little bit more time to really absorb.
The order in which an attack roughly matches 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 the order in which an attack rough.
Yeah, that works. So that's great. Let's also have a look at this again.
Collective. The order of the collective. The order of the collective.
Oh, but the only thing is that this is in a really weird position. Excellent. Let's try this one. Okay, that's weird as well, so we need to shift this so it works more with the speed of the...
Apply each technique, 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 apply each technique,
Yeah, I think that works. Excellent. Next. Now this is the one where the character disappears and reappears, and that was looking a little strange, so let's see if that works now.
Although in reality...
So I think the rotation should actually stay. Actually, you know what? Maybe I won't have a bounce in this one. Let's see.
Although in reality...
No, we do need that little bounce back.
attack, although in real attack, although in real attack, although in real attack, or
maybe this happens just slightly earlier. Later, I mean.
attack, although in real attack, although in
Okay, we need a little bit more space before it starts looping around.
attack, although in reality the 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 attack. So in reality there's a fair bit of reality there.
Okay, maybe I don't have a rotation forward bounce, but instead we have like a settling in period. So
in reality there's a fair in real
oh, what's happening here? Why is this bouncing out of control? Velocity 75%. Why is there a huge jump? I don't want that. Why are you doing that? Okay. Why is it going down? I don't want that. Why is it going down and then back up? I definitely don't want that. No. What are you doing? Why is it going down? Value graph. It's all straight. Oh, I know. There's probably a Bezier here. A Bezier that shouldn't be there. Yep, that's it. If you don't know what your keyframes are doing and you've used Bezier curves, check your Beziers. That'll probably be the issue. Okay, let's see if that works. Save.
Attack, although in reality the attack, although in reality the attack, although in reality the attack. Although in reality there's a fair bit of jump. Although
nope, too much jump. Maybe here.
Although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around. Though in reality.
Okay, yeah, that kind of works. There is something not quite working, but I'm going to pull these back to here.
attack.
No,
although
okay, yeah, they do need to be in the front here.
In reality, there's a fair bit of jumping around. In reality, there's a fair bit of jumping around. In reality, there's a fair bit of jumping.
No, it's the same position. Okay, then I think this position doesn't work. Sorry, I'm jumping around now with the eye position. But it's just something I noticed, so I want to do it now before... No, I just want to clone these two. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to reverse them. And I want the eye to be in a slightly different position. So I want the eyes to move to the new location just before the body moves there. And then we'll do a blink here. And we'll also test this section.
Jumping around and repetition, and jumping around and repetition, and jumping around and repetition.
And I think at this point it needs to actually go down. Something's not meshing here.
Jump.
Also, I think this rotation, yeah, this rotation is too much.
repetition. Jumping around and repetition, jumping around and repetition, jumping around and repetition, jumping.
I think this should be happening at this point. Maybe the arm doesn't need to do that, but... Okay, let's do the quick replay.
Jumping around and repetition, jumping around and
and I need to unhighlight the layers, otherwise we can't see anything.
Jumping around and repetition, 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 jump.
Yep, I like that. Let's compare it with this one to see if it actually works collectively.
Although in reality there's a fair bit of Although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition. Although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition. Although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition. Although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition. Although in reality there's...
I think that works very nicely. At this point, maybe we want the hat to rotate. Like, it's rotating at this point. So I think maybe we'll bring this back to... Whoa, okay. Sometimes I'm not in the field, and when you start typing in numbers in After Effects, it starts opening all kinds of funny things. Actually, the bounce should be happening at this point. Okay, I did that wrong. Undo, undo. Well, actually, redo that. No. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's do the shift spacebar.
In reality, there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition. There's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition. Although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition. Although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition. Although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition. Although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition.
Maybe we'll just elongate the bounce on this, and might as well do that on the arm too.
In reality there's a fair bit of jumping around. In reality
yeah. Okay, great. We've got that much. I'm a little lost as to what we didn't do yet. Oops, nope. I want these to be auto Bezier, I don't know.
attack, although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition as an attacker can move from system to system.
Okay, I think that looks pretty good. So let's try and watch the whole thing. I don't know if After Effects is going to be able to handle it.
Use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective.
Yeah, it's doing a little monster sound, but once it's gone through one time, it should be able to play it back. So let's have a look.
A fair bit of jumping around and repetition as an attacker moves from system to system. An attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. The order of the columns roughly matches the order in which an attacker would need to apply each technique in an end-to-end attack, although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition as an attacker moves from system to system. Rather, an attack...
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. There's one, like, I've movement that was kind of weird. I think it was, like, here. No. It's, like, somewhere around here. Yeah, here. Okay. And I think... Let's keep these. And what's the distance? I think these are like 10 frames apart. No, 5 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'll clone these. And I think this was the... And...
attack, although in reality there's a fair... attack, although in reality there's a... Although in reality there's a fair bit of jump.
Okay. So let's see. And oh, there's like a singular... Alright, let's try this.
Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. The order of the columns roughly matches.
And I think that's the last thing we're going to do today, so as soon as it's finished rendering, I'm going to full screen it so we can see the full effect.
So in reality, the fair bit of jumping around and repetition as an attacker moves from system to system. Rather, an attacker will use a combination of these techniques in order to achieve their objective. The order of the columns roughly matches the order in which an attacker would need to apply each technique in an end-to-end attack, although in reality there's a fair bit of jumping around and repetition as an attacker moves from system to system. Rather, an attacker will...
Nice! That's it. That is that scene finished, and I'm pretty sure we have all of the scenes of this framework finished, if I remember correctly. We're gonna have to figure that out in the next stream when we have a look at the storyboard and see what else needs to be animated. But basically, now we're gonna start putting this together, and I kind of started a little bit here with the calling of the scenes. So I have all of these different versions of that template, and in the expressions, I call the variable that calls out all of the different scenes inside of that comp, and then they play back as necessary. So I've set that up already, and yeah, cool. We can finally move on. The characters finally fully animated, and we can now focus on the upcoming scenes in the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. If you did, as always, I much appreciate you coming along, watching me live, and yeah, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment, ask me any questions that's about anything that wasn't clear, anything like this, the script, the expression that I showed you. If you want to know more about that, just leave your questions in the comments section. And don't forget to subscribe. And if you'd like to support me monetarily, I also have a Patreon, a Ko-fi, and a Buy Me a Coffee. On the Patreon, I regularly share project files, scripts, expressions, tips and tricks, all the good After Effects stuff that I go through on the live streams every week. And you can be part of that. Or if you'd like to donate a one-off and buy me a tea, actually, I don't drink coffee, you can do that on Ko-fi or buymeacoffee.com. All the links are in the description. And other than that, I hope to see you next time. We live stream Animation Collab every Tuesday at 5 p.m. CET, unless it's really sunny outside, and then we might live stream at 6 p.m. Other than that, I need to stop saying other than that. We also have Shut Up and Draw, which is Fridays, where I illustrate either on in Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator, or on paper with, you know, actual tools manually. And we just chill a little bit and listen to some tunes in that live streaming series. So come along if you enjoyed this, and hope to see you next time. Oh, wait, before I tune off, I must remind you that my new class, Motion Graphics, the new part of my Motion Graphics title, oh my god, okay, let's begin again. The part 2 of motion graphics templates, responsive motion graphic templates course series is going to launch soon. If you haven't seen me talk about that, do head. I'm gonna try and open the page so that you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, this one. I will mute the desktop. No, I will not mute the desktop audio because you can have a look at it. This is animation, and this is Animation Collab, but this video is a little teaser to my part 2 of the responsive motion graphics templates series, where I will teach you how to code, animate, and make available in Premiere Pro and After Effects a lower third graphics animation that is customizable. You can use it in Premiere Pro and give it to somebody, and they can input their own text if they like. They can change the colors, and everything is fully customizable. And yeah, actually I wanted to make this window smaller, but for some reason that's not possible. I'll do it like this. I'll stretch it. I'll stretch it until it takes up the amount of space that I would like it to take up. Yeah, so this class, I'm currently still working on it. If you'd like to know when it launches, do subscribe to the newsletter. The link for that is always also below, and all of my newsletter mailing list subscribers will get an early access bonus, and only the first 10 who use the bonus will actually receive the bonus. So don't miss out, be quick, and to close this off, I'm gonna play this video for you. Have you ever wanted to describe someone?
I hope you can hear
that.
Video? Maybe mention their name on screen, what they do, combined with a cool animation. Perhaps you need some graphics for your Premiere Pro video project? Hi, I'm Sonja. I'm a motion designer and online teacher, and that's what I am teaching you today. We'll be creating a responsive lower third animation in After Effects. You will be able to customize in Premiere Pro as well as use inside After Effects. You will be able to bring a professional polish to your video piece. We will go through the process of taking an existing title template and transforming it into a lower third of the same style, while learning new and advanced expressions to create a responsive and modular design. No more adjusting the design and animation when you make changes to the text or exporting video files of your graphics to add to your video project. You'll be able to use multiple instances of the same comp in After Effects and make individual changes without impacting the original comp. What we are creating in this course is a great addition to class up a YouTube or Talking Heads video. Ready? Let's get started.
And now you know. Now you know more. So don't be shy. Learn something new today, and keep your eyes peeled for the announcement of this class, which will be very, very soon. Okay, that's all I have for you today. I hope to see you next time. Until then, bye!